buyers make these 3 common mistakes when they consider moving to Suffolk County, and I want to let you know so that when you're considering to move out here, you don't make the same mistake. My name is Matt. I'm a licensed real estate broker with Eagerness Real Estate. If you're looking to buy, sell, or lease a home in downstate New York, New York City, Long Island, Westchester, click the link below and schedule a Calendly appointment with us or give us a call. We'd love to help and assist in the next chapter of your life, and we are eager to guide you home. There are 3 common mistakes that I've encountered when I'm working with my clients that I see that my buyers make over and over again. And I want to make sure that you don't do the same. It's very important that when you're considering moving to Long Island, that you pay attention to where you're moving, because one of the most important things, specifically in Suffolk County as compared to Nassau, that you are going to need when you move out here is a car. Now, transportation in Suffolk County, it's not that it's not available, it's that it's not as reliable as living in Queens, Brooklyn, or maybe even sometimes Nassau County. Most homeowners and most residents of Suffolk County utilize their car on a regular basis. Unfortunately, many neighborhoods in Suffolk County aren't navigable via walking. This is not a county where you can casually find yourself walking to the corner store or walking to the nearest 7-Eleven because of the lot sizes, because of the sizes of the neighborhoods. While sometimes you may find a home or you may find a spot that's close to convenience stores, that's close to malls, however, the majority of the homes here are in cul-de-sacs, are in secluded neighborhoods, meaning that it makes it difficult to rely on mass transportation or public transportation to make it around in Suffolk County. Specifically, especially going from North Shore to South Shore, there aren't reliable sources or reliable forms of transportation. The bus routes out here are extremely uncommon, and they pass on sometimes maybe even an hourly basis. And they are mostly to go to popular destinations such as the mall, such as popular main transportation hubs such as the train station, Tanger Outlets, Riverhead. So you will not be able to rely on a bus to get around here, specifically if you are working in the county as well. There aren't many direct destination routes, so I implore you to consider purchasing a car when you move out here. It will make your life extremely easier. Now, it's not a must-have, but you will find your life easier by having a car out here, because a lot of things in Suffolk County are not accessible via walking. Now, we do have access to the Long Island Railroad, but you will find once you get eastern in Suffolk County, a lot of the train stations out there aren't serviced as much as main transportation hubs such as Ronkonkoma, Babylon, or even Huntington. Once you get out to eastern Suffolk County, the trains maybe during the summer might increase in activity, but year-round, there aren't much Long Island Railroad train activities at some of those eastern destination stations. Consider purchasing a car to make the daily responsibilities and the daily tasks much easier for you in getting around and beating traffic and getting to work on time without relying on public transportation. Mistake number 2 that many buyers do when they're moving to Suffolk County is that they prioritize aesthetics over practicality. Now, when you move out here or you start looking for a home out here, you will find that a lot of the neighborhoods have some of the most beautiful homes you've ever seen. And because of that, sometimes you may be overwhelmed and excited to consider the idea of a 5-bedroom, 2-bath home somewhere in Suffolk County. While it's important to consider aesthetics, you have to take into consideration the neighborhood, the commute times, and the long-term needs that the neighborhood's going to provide to you. So it's important to consider the practicality of where you're moving and if it makes sense for you for a long-term purchase, as opposed to something that just looks nice on Instagram, looks nice on YouTube, and then once you move in, the neighborhood doesn't really give the wow factor that you once considered prior to moving there. Things to take into consideration: if you're looking at properties such as a high ranch, which are 2-level homes, and you know that long-term you might need to accommodate additional extended family, you may want to consider a colonial, something that gives you 3 stories, as so opposed that you don't feel overcrowded when you do make space for your extended family, or if your family intends to grow, that you don't feel overcrowded in the home that you purchased at the time when it was only less people in the family to take into consideration. We may see some of these beautiful homes and think like, wow, there's such great value out here. But the same thing applies for when you're buying a smaller house. If you're buying a smaller home and you know at some point that I'm not sure. I don't think I could do with a one-level ranch that doesn't have a basement. What if I need to upsize? What if I need room? What if I need some private space for myself? Consider this. Even though the prices may seem more attractive out here, it's very important to project for the future, because this will give you the greatest opportunity to make your investment work for you without feeling overwhelmed when you feel crammed inside the home because you weren't thinking for the future possibility of an expansion of your family, or if your job changes and that you need to consider making a home office, making room for your kids, or making room for your friends, your family. Take these things into consideration and do not just look at the beautiful home on the outside, the aesthetics. Consider if this home is going to be practical for you once you consider moving out here. You don't want to buy an investment. You consider that you might live in the property for an average of 7 years, but should that 7-year mark come and maybe you can't afford to upgrade or upsize to another property, figure out if the property you're at makes sense for you so that you don't have to panic and sell just to buy something else in the future when you could take into consideration these factors now. The last mistake that buyers make when they're moving out here, this is even common in other areas of Long Island, is not considering neighborhoods beyond your preference. You will find that a lot of Long Island's generally zoned differently than the way New York City is. While in New York City, you can choose where your kids go to school and you can choose to send them other places when it comes to high school, where you live determines what school you're zoned to. And oftentimes, buyers are narrow-minded and narrow-tracked on, I want to live in this specific neighborhood because it has this specific school zone. However, they don't consider the neighborhoods surrounding that area that also share the same school zone. An example of this in Suffolk County is Dix Hills School District. Half Hollow Hills. Oftentimes, buyers want to move to Dix Hills. However, the price point of Dix Hills is different than the price points of other neighborhoods surrounding it. Sometimes it's important for our buyers to consider the neighborhoods around the area that also take advantage of the same school zone, but sometimes benefit from lower taxes. This includes areas like northern parts of Deer Park, northern parts of Wheatley Heights, and even southern parts of Huntington, which take advantage of the Half Hollow Hills School District. And this applies to other areas out east as well. We see areas such as Three Village School District, and people are one-track minded on the one area that they believe that the school zone is zoned to. However, they don't take into consideration the little small portions of the neighborhoods outside of that town that also take advantage of the school zone. You need to prioritize considering other neighborhoods rather than looking at, I just want to go to this one town, this is all I see. Because quite often what happens when I'm working with my buyers out here in Suffolk County, they'll tell me, Matt, I don't want to go any further than Western Suffolk. Can't imagine going out here because X, Y, and Z. And then I'll take them to a showing and I'll show them one town, Eastern, past their limit. And they're like, wow, oh my God, the houses are bigger, the neighborhood's more quiet, more value for my dollar. And this is the things that I found that a lot of buyers don't take into consideration when they're looking for property. It's important to do some research when you're considering to move to these neighborhoods and try to find the niche of that neighborhood where you can take advantage of the things you're looking for and possibly get it for less of a cost, maybe less taxes. Quite often, you'll discover the hidden gems of Long Island and discover that your dollar could go further by considering neighborhoods outside of your preference zone. I've worked with buyers who told me, Matt, I don't want to leave Nassau County. I can't imagine. And sometimes I have to show them 10, 20, 30 houses sometimes just for them to start considering houses a little more east. And then when we close, they're like, oh my God, I can't believe I bought this much house for this much dollar. It's important for yourself as a buyer or someone who's considering moving to Suffolk County to pay attention to things outside of your preference, or maybe even sometimes things outside of your price point. That's how we create opportunity for our buyers. My buyer may be able to say like, oh, I want to live in this specific neighborhood, or I want to be in this specific price point. And sometimes when they're searching online, they're only showing me houses within that price point. And then I'll find them a house right outside that price point. Let's say, for example, my buyer's budget is 550K and they don't want to look for anything with higher than that. I'll show them a house at 575. But I'm like, hey, this house has been in the market for 179 days. And we'll go in there, we'll see the home, and then we'll negotiate right back down to their budget because the seller at that point is motivated and they're looking to sell the home. So I like to tell my buyers to keep an open mind when you're searching in Suffolk County because you can discover hidden value by not being narrow-minded. Look a little bit outside of your preference and you may be surprised at what you can find that other buyers in your market are not looking for. And this is one of the best ways to navigate a competitive market, specifically here on Long Island in 2025. If you know someone or you're looking to take advantage and not make these same mistakes and work with someone who wants to pay attention and guide you through the home purchase process, click the link in our bio or comment ready and we'll give you a free first-time home buyer guide of navigating today's market in Suffolk County. If you like this video, shoot it a like and stick around for the next one. And we look forward to assisting you with your home purchase and your home journey in moving to Long Island and considering working with us.